Hey there, today I'm going to show you your very first lesson on right-hand finger picking for the guitar if you're not using a flat pick, but you want to use your fingers to pluck with. Finger picking is really cool because you can really bring out the polyphonic nature of the guitar by having more than one finger happening or playing at the same time. It's really cool. So, what I want to talk about is the different fingers we can use to play and what kind of a good way to develop a technique is. And I'll show you some of the different forms. Again, just like anything we do when we play guitar, our goal is to play as relaxed as possible and as freely as possible. So first of all, your thumb is a great finger to pluck with. You know, watch some old videos of Wes Montgomery playing guitar and he could really shred with it. In folk guitar and classical guitar, it's often used as the bass note. So your thumb, which is when you see it in notation is written as P for pulgar, is going to lightly be placed on the 6th string, right? So you'll notice I have a fingernail that I play with. That's from playing classical. On steel string or for acoustic or for folk, you don't necessarily need it. And some people like to use finger picks. That's fine too, but I'm just going to give you the basic idea of how finger picking is going to work. So with your thumb, you just want to rest on the string and pluck, kind of through and over, right? Now, I'm also kind of closing that into my hand like this. Now, whether I play with my hand kind of floating like I like to do, so I've got a little bit of height on my wrist here, right? Or some players like to rest their palm down so they can make those bass notes a little bit muted. So what I like to do is come in over top, bring my hand over the strings, and just let it kind of hang right over the back of the sound hole, right? My thumb rests on the 6th string. Then we'll go to my index finger. And let's put our index finger on the 3rd string, right? That's our G, right? And just play around the very tip. And again, I'm playing like this. You might also want to rest your palm down on the bridge, right? Some people really like to do that, right? Or they're both safe. If you're playing classical, you tend to play more like so, but a lot of folk players like to play like this. So whatever's more comfortable for you is fine. We just want to talk about the basic gist of how these fingers work. So index finger would play the 3rd string. Let's put our middle finger on the 2nd string, right? And our ring finger on the 1st string. Very rarely will you use your pinky to pluck in finger style. Very often players will use just their thumb and their index, or just their thumb and their index and their middle. It can be really helpful for rolling strings. You know, so we're talking about right now basically arpeggios or Travis style picking, right? Where the thumb's going to play most of the low notes, the bass notes on strings 4, 5, and 6, and the index in the middle and the ring will catch most of the notes on strings 1, 2, and 3. So thumb on the 6th string, index on the 3rd string, middle finger on the 2nd string, ring finger on the 1st string. Now, however you choose to play, it's really great to just kind of get the basic physiology of how your hands works in your mind before you do. Just like we talked about with our left hand and our tendons, you want to have that same kind of idea that as you're plucking, you're not plucking out like this. You're not using your arm to pluck with your fingers. The finger's just freely moving, right, like so, and that's where your finger picking is coming from, right? So this first exercise of 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3 is a great way to kind of wake your fingers up. Now, I'm going to play it for you again a little bit closer in a different angle so you can kind of see. 6, 3, 2, 1. If you find yourself doing this, right, most likely this joint or this knuckle needs to be a little further over the strings, right? Because what's happening is you're afraid you're going to run into the next string. So as you hang down, you kind of want to think of the knuckle joint over the string that you're plucking. If you do that, this knuckle becomes kind of like the tree limb, and the tip of your finger is like a swing, right? So it's coming out, grabs that note that you want, and then we'll miss the next string on the way back up. It's a good little way to visualize it. So a great first exercise, 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, right? Now that's for doing an arpeggio. Now in fingerstyle, the way we often play melodies, you can use your thumb, kind of like Wes Montgomery did in jazz style, or your index and your middle finger will go back and forth. This is called a piccato in classical guitar or flamenco guitar, but it's a great way to kind of get these two fingers just used to plucking notes, is to go to the 1st string with your index or your middle, and just practice plucking those notes, right? One thing I like to do is I'll pluck a note and I'll reach all the way and touch my palm to make sure that I'm playing with kind of a full range of motion. Notice also that in my right hand, my pinky's not sticking up. I call it champagne pinky, and that's a sign of just tension in your hand. Everything needs to be really relaxed. So as I'm playing with these two fingers, back and forth, my pinky doesn't shoot out, right? That's a sure sign that you're kind of tensing up and you're playing a little bit. So 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3 for a little arpeggio shape or a broken chord, and then taking your index to your middle and just doing so, right? Once you can do that, you can start, reading tabs, play songs. And play all these great Travis picked songs or start working on some beginning classical things. This is just a basic idea of how it works. There's one more thing that I'm really pumped about showing you, and it's called the Segovia X, right? And basically the idea of that is just that your thumb and your pointer finger cross over each other, not behind. Most students that I teach when they play fingerstyle when I first see them, they play like this, right? And the thumb goes behind the pointer finger, and what happens if you do that is they run into each other. The pointer finger and the thumb can't move freely with one another, right? So what you want is you want the thumb to go outside the pointer finger so the pointer finger can still move freely and the thumb can go outside of it. Sometimes I'll just go to the first string with my thumb and my pointer and play thumb, pointer, thumb, right? To make sure they've got that X. And it's called the Segovia X, named after the awesome Spanish guitar player, Andres Segovia, of course. So anyway, there's a good little intro on how your right hand might want to look when you first start finger picking. Again, it's all there's a lot of different ways to do it, whether your wrist is up, whether your palm's down, and it changes a lot if you start studying a different form like classical or flamenco or anything like that. So anyway, I hope this helps a lot. Have a great day. See you soon.